Welcome back to JavaScript tutorial series. In this lecture, we will talk about variables, constants, and literals. Take a look. What is a variable? Then we'll take a look at what is a constant, and then we'll move to literals, and we'll also take a look at how to create variables, constants, and literals in JavaScript. So, let me first tell you what is a variable. If I wanted to simply describe a variable, then I would say a variable is just a name for a specific value. This value can be changed anytime. Just think, if you want to store age, then you can use a variable to store the age value. But when you call your age, it is very difficult to call the exact age value in that situation. Variables help you out. You specify a name for your age and access this name anytime, anywhere. So now let me first tell you how to create a variable. To create a variable, we will write age is equal to 24 and then specify a semicolon. Now, this statement does two things. It declares or creates a variable age and assigns it an initial value of 24. You can use this value anytime. If you want to display this variable, we use the console.log method, and in the parentheses I will just specify the variable name. You don't need to specify double quotes here because we don't want to display a string message. Instead, we just want to display a variable on the console. So we'll just say age in the parentheses and end the statement using a semicolon. Now, when you run this document, you will get 24 on the console, but this is not the way you declare a variable. If someone wanted to run this document in strict mode, then you will get an error message when we access the age variable. We will talk about the use of strict mode in future lectures. To use a variable in an ECMAScript, we can use the let keyword before the variable name. Using the let keyword, we will create a variable, or you can say we would declare a variable with a value or without a value. If you remove this value from the variable, then you will not get an error message. Instead, you will get a special undefined value. So, this statement is equivalent to let age is equal to undefined. Now you can declare multiple variables at the same time with the let keyword, just like this. So we will declare let first name, last name is equal to, and in double quotes, we specify John Doe. And you can create one more variable with a different value. So just say comma and specify age is equal to 24 and end the line with a semicolon. In the last name variable, we declare a string value, and after that, we create a variable with no value. Now let me move to the next topic, which is constant. In my script, we seek a new keyword added in JavaScript, which is constant. Also, constant holds a value, but unlike variables, it cannot change after initialization. You can't change the constant value after you declare it. Let me show you how to create a constant variable. So, to create a constant variable, start with the constant keyword, followed by the name of your constant. I was raised right in Preacher here, so I'll just say Dampier and specify no. To create another constant, just type comma and specify your second constant here. You can also specify the string value for the constant. I personally use a capital letter to specify the constant because it is very helpful to understand and find out it is constant in variables. Now the next topic is what is identified as variable and constant are usually called identifier. They have a name, and root identifying consists of letters, numbers, underscores, and the dollar signs. Unique code characters are allowed. Identifier must start with a letter, dollar sign, or underscore. Identifier cannot be a D word. These are words in the JavaScript that are created for a specific task. They cannot be used as an identifier. If you do that, then you will get an error message. Now let me move to the next topic, literally. We already seen the literal in the previous example where we specify a variable name with the numerical literal. So it literally means you are providing a value directly in the program. It is just a way to create identifier with a value. So let's create a variable with the let keyword and name this variable God. Now we will specify the literal to this variable. So just type equals sign. And then in the double quotes, we specify do you make happy and just close the statement using a semicolon. In the double quotes, this basic for a literal. You can specify this literal to the other variable also. So just say let reference is equal to God. Now the reference has the same value as a God variable. You can specify a literal with the numerical value, with the float value. We'll talk about this in the later. Dory Olds, it's up on you. Where do you use a variable and where to use constant in your program? So now we understand what is variable, constant, and literally. When you move with the JavaScript series, you'll be completely familiar with these topics. We will take each topic one by one so you will understand everything in detail. That is all for this lecture. We will see you in the next one.